then sure there was a Maximus.
Division qualifiers, the regional qualifiers are going on all around the world, and they all end up funneling into the global qualifier. And that is the pathway to the 2026 tournament, as they take another single, which will be held here in the UK.
It'll be held down in England, isn't it? They've announced the venues for that. And of course, Scotland will be part of that global qualifier, but probably most excitingly for Nepal fans, they're going to be part of it as well after a remarkable, almost Lazarus rising from the ashes tournament in Thailand. Really bizarre kind of fashion, because it was only thanks to a couple of washouts that they were even kept alive in the tournament. But it feels like the time very much right for the women's game in Nepal to have its time. The Cricket Association of Nepal has put a huge amount of focus on that. They got past Hong Kong and Bahrain, despite Hong Kong being unbeaten in their group. It was an interesting structure, wasn't it? 9 teams separated into 3 groups of 3, but then Nepal got the better of the UAE, and they've qualified to that Women's T20 World Cup qualifier, so wishing them all the best. It'll give us the chance to get a break here in the commentary box as we will end that first session. Maybe Scotland just slightly ahead, but Nepal do have the 2 big wickets that they would have wanted. We'll have a 5-minute break here in the commentary box. Do come back and join us then, when we will bring you the second and third session. Scotland are 90 for 2. So welcome back to the Forfarshire Cricket Club grounds were greeted with a beautiful drive directly out to our commentary position, where we can give you a bit of a wave as well. Nav, our coordinator, does the fielding, as he always does so well. He's wrapped up against the elements, as are we. And namaste to everyone, as 50 it is for Charlie Tier. Gets there in grand style, greeted warmly by the crowd. That's a fine stroke, isn't it? Great to see him back in good touch. It is a third career ODI 50 for him. His highest score just 54, so great chance to go past that. This one's whipped into the leg side. It's going to be back-to-back boundaries. It is now a career best for him. And a lovely way to pick up after the first drinks break into the second drinks session now, or the second session now. Andrew Leonard here alongside Mel Farrell. We're all set to continue. Mel, great to be here with you. Great to be live on ICC TV around the world, and great to have Nepal back in action, but they've got a tall task against them. Scotland are looking good here.
Well, great to see this effort and this innings by Charlie Tier. Fine half century. He's had a bit of luck, but that's okay. This is just the most assured I think I've ever seen Charlie Tier bat. You mentioned he had a pretty modest series, you'd say, in the Netherlands. Went back away to Sussex and has been playing and batting and keeping. Of course, he is a keeper by trade as well. But with Matt Cross here, those skills are not required.
Oh, misfield. And it's a poor one, isn't it, from Karen KC of all people out there. You might not have seen it. I don't think that the camera quite picked it up, but it was a regulation stop that should have been stopped, but it thudded into his right leg and then ran away to the boundary. Second session has started really poorly for Nepal, and the hundreds come up.
But yes, I'm just talking about Charlie Tier. As we see this one again, they've tested him with the short ball. He hasn't always played it super convincingly, but on that occasion he hooked with control.
Might be the end of Sampal Kami for the moment. 13 runs from his comeback over after the first drinks break. It's 103 for 2, and a warm welcome along to today's coverage to everyone. You're watching us live on ICC TV for the first time in Nepal. We've entered a new right cycle, and there's historically been a few challenges getting ICC TV in Nepal, so fans have often had to jump off onto other platforms to get the coverage, but great to have you with us live across the beautiful nation of Nepal. So what is there, 31, 32 million people there? Let's hope many a million are enjoying the coverage today. Great to have you with us.
Yeah, I was so fortunate to go over for the Pro Club Championship 18 months ago. My first visit to Nepal. And of course it's somewhere you know so well, and where you're so well known, of course. But I really loved being there. I was down in Birgunj, down in the south. And it was just a real eye-opener, just seeing the fans and myself, thousands and thousands every day for this tournament. And I was lucky enough to spend a few days up in the mountains outside of Kathmandu.
You're right down in the Terai region there, aren't you, in Birgunj, which is it's the most fascinating country, Nepal, because it's obviously placed geographically in the most remarkable of locations, directly in between two of the most populous countries in the world, in between India to the south and China up to the north. But then, nice leg break, well bowled. That was no edge there, wasn't a dropped catch. But good drift and bounce and turn from Lamachani, that will excite him. But you've got this kind of strip of a long, reasonably narrow country that within it you've got regions of 8,000 plus metre peaks, all the way down to then the kind of flat sort of plateau of the Terai region. This is swept away, going to be 4, really good stroke. Barrington gets out in front of his pad and exploits the field, because deep mid-wicket was the man square on the leg side, and Gulshan Jah can't cut that off.
Barrington is so strong square of the wicket, whether he's sweeping, pulling, cutting. they're real hot zones for him when it comes to scoring. He is their best player of spin for Scotland. That was a lovely sweep. Yeah, so Beer Gunge is quite flat. It's sort of the gateway to India, which was how it was being explained to me. No, I don't think a lot of tourists go there, so I was quite a novelty for the locals.
Particularly with the blonde hair, Mel, I would suspect that was definitely something that would have caught a few people's eyes. Powered down the ground this time, should be just the single as long on. Rajan Dakal will do the fielding. Yeah, it's an amazing country, isn't it? 8 of the 14 8,000 plus metre peaks are within Nepal. And you've got, as you come down south into the Terai region, you've got this incredible kind of area. A lot of the cricketers are coming from there. That's a huge amount of the cricket down towards the Indian border, particularly the likes of Bhairawa, Beer Gunge where you were, heading out east towards Bharatnagar as well. And it's a very fertile area. It's where most of the rice and the wheat is produced. And I'm hoping, it's probably pretty warm, was it? It usually gets pretty hot down there.
Well, it
depends the time of year.
I wouldn't say warm. It was December.
Oh, December, okay.
But
it can get very hot there.
Yeah, that's what I was told. It wasn't hot, I would say, but it was all right. But had a really wonderful night wandering around the town centre with Birat, my co-commentator. He took me to one temple, and we actually met a local guy who just was a big cricket fan, had been watching, and he took us on a bit of a tour. We ended up in another temple, and some locals invited us to sit down with them. They were playing and singing, and so I found myself with a tambourine.
Getting involved, that's what it's all about.
I was getting involved.
Kushal Bertel into the attack, going to be leg spin from both ends. Nepal are on the hunt for wickets. Yeah, speaking of the temples, down in the Terai region as well, that's the official birthplace of the Lord Gautam Buddha down in the Lumbini province. There's also a most remarkable cricket development sparked down there. The Extra Tech Oval, which is being developed privately by a businessman of Nepalese origin who's down in Australia, who's wanting to give back to his home region. And they've got floodlights in there now. They've got plans for what is going to be a world-class oval. I think it's the kind of place that in years to come may end up as a, certainly potentially a Nepal Premier League host, maybe an international venue in due course. And it's amazing. It's a real field of dreams down there, Mel. It's kind of through the rice fields.
Wow. Quite
rural outside of, I think I flew to Bhairawa to get there. I hope I'm right. And you should just see the passion for cricket down there. Really quite remarkable. And special country, isn't it? Nepal. They've got it all to do here, though. They're being put under ferocious pressure by an impressive Scottish batting lineup.
Yeah, Richie Barrington, you just mentioned, square of the wicket. We saw him pull out the cut shot in that last one. And he really is someone who loves scoring those two regions.
Big appeal. Now, what does Sohail Ghazi think? No. A long old think about it. The Nepal fans in the crowd are still appealing. Try and get a look at the replay of that one, Mel, because it certainly looked more than a bit interested. Why has Sohail Ghazi given this not out? The reverse angle, probably not the one we want to see. Don't think we can bring you the other angle right now, Mel, but looked pretty close, didn't it?
It did, and it was just very hard to see on that reverse angle. But it looked okay for height, I think, from what we could tell. But I don't know, maybe doing too much. I'm not really sure. But of course, the umpires only get one look as well, and we're only getting one look on this occasion.
Well, the great news is on ICC TV, where you'll all hopefully be watching on, you can you can use that little toggle button just to drift back. That's what I'm doing here on my laptop in front of me, trying to get one more look. Yeah, maybe bat involved. I think it was bat from Charlie Tier on second view, and everything else looked good. Change of bowling. Arif Sheikh could have come into the attack. He's immediately greeted by a cut shot from Charlie Tier, who works that away to the rope. And Lalit Rajbanshi out there, not in the 11. He does the fielding as the sub fielder. This looked like a fine stroke, Mel Farrell.
Well, the most recent of many. He's just been outstanding. I made that point before. This is the best innings I've seen from Charlie Tier, absolutely, for Scotland.
It was a lovely flowing cut shot, wasn't it? It was just short and wide and a real loosener from Arif Sheikh. Yeah, Arif Sheikh's medium pace can be pretty effective, and you think in these conditions they're tailor-made, aren't they, for a keeper up to the stumps, ball stump to stump, and just maybe try and get a little bit of nibble, a bit of wobble if you can. But you have to be particularly tight and with your lines and your lengths, and you can't give width to a batter who's already set and on 60.
The other feature of Charlie Tier's innings is just the range of shots he's played as well. He's swept and reverse swept well. A couple of times inside edged. And they have asked a few questions of him with the short ball. But he's ridden his luck when he's needed to. And it's just the maturity. It's been aggressive, but a mature aggression, if that makes sense. But definitely the best innings I've seen him play for Scotland.
Again, too much width from Arif Sheikh. We're just having a few problems with the sun kind of darting behind the clouds, just in terms of getting the brightness up for you. Try and get that patched up. Classic Scottish weather, isn't it? I took the ferry over yesterday from Ireland Mel, and as I pulled into Cairn Ryan, which is on the western coast, just south of Ayr, the city, that is, A-Y-R, I looked at the Scottish coast and I said, this could be any of the 12 months of the year. Like, you could literally have been equally as much January, June or December. There was no discernible difference between all of them. As we get to the end of the 19th, it's 118 for 2. How much of a challenge is that for these Nepal players? I know they play a lot of cricket in the winter back in Kathmandu, where it can get quite cold up in the valley. But it's just completely alien, isn't it? The conditions in terms of the temperatures, the surfaces that they'll play on, everything is a challenge coming to this part of the world.
But that's what I love about this whole league, is that it'll also be foreign for Scotland when they go and play in Nepal as well. And there aren't many conditions, when you think about it, that they don't play in at some point in this league. So I guess it does even out, but it does pose a challenge for them. Charlie Tier now 68 off 57. He took a bit of a back seat early on when George Munsey came out, as usual, all guns blazing.
Swept away. Protection out there will just be a single. Kushal Bertel's been to the barber as well, isn't he? Him and Dipender Singh, they must have gone in together. These Nepal players, like there's no two greater pals than Karen KC and Sampal Kami, but Kushal Bertel and Dipender Singh are thick as thieves alongside them, really good friends. Is that not that I've ever been known for any style, but is that the Gulshan Jah, I think, is at the same area? Well, certainly had a decent trim too. They've all been in the barbers.
Maybe it was a group bonding session, team building.
Look at that one. That's very tight, Gulshan Jah. Like that. Looking good, lads. Looking really. Keep it tight. Keep it simple. It's the way to go.
Is there a bit of envy? Is that what I'm sensing, Lenny?
Not at all. I'm inspiring the lads. Inspiring the lads to keep it tight. They're looking up to the tackle. Yeah, I have to say that every time you go to Nepal, there's just something about that country. Such a special place. It really is. Great to see their side back in action. The women's side taking centre stage. We were talking about that just before the drinks break, making it through to the global qualifier for the first time. Be interesting to see how they go. Going to be very tough for them to qualify, but great experience to see how the women go up at that level. Kushal Patel started brightly here, isn't he? Causing lots of problems and plenty of mystery. Just 3 runs from his second. 20 have been bowled. It is 121 for 2. The Nepal fans trying to rouse their team. They're in need of wickets.
They are in need of wickets. This partnership building. It's Tier who's been, he's been part of the rebuild with McMullen. Now part of the rebuild with Berrington. And what I love about this is both when McMullen came in and now with Berrington, they've been quite happy to encourage Tier. You can see those little conversations, and I think they're just saying to him, keep on going. Taking the leadership role. The ball's just come back in quite sharply, but got another one. This will be great for Charlie Tier because he's often out earlier than, say, Munsey. To be out there batting with Richie Berrington, I'm not sure how much time they might have spent in the middle together, especially recently.
Whipped into the leg side, but straight at Kushal Patel. Comes a bit